watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Hello, I am your Superintendent, Jason Manuel. Thank you for joining us for the final installment of the Germantown Municipal School District Spotlight on Excellence for the 2017-2018 school year. Today our show will highlight two community organizations that have entered into extraordinary partnership with our schools, Leadership Germantown and the Germantown Charity Horse Show. Later in the show, we've got a performance by Diego Martinez, who has been recently recognized as one of the best orchestral bass players in the country. But first, we are excited to welcome our student in the spotlight, Jayla Hemingway, and her coach, Ben Moore, to the studio to talk about some amazing success on the basketball court this year. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
So this was something special, and we had the privilege of having you come to one of our board meetings, and I really talked about the fact that we've never had this much success in girls basketball at Houston High School. So tell us a little bit about what made this year so special. So I'll start with you, Coach. First, how long have you been here? How long have you been
coaching?
This
is my second year at Houston. So I think what made this year really special is we had a good group coming back. We returned 3 starters and 2 or 3 other players that had played a lot of good basketball in the past. And so we were fortunate that we made it to the state tournament the year before this year. And so we had just a lot of experience under our belt, and then combine that with some really talented kids that bought in. That's kind of what helped seal the deal.
So what was different last year from this year, Jayla, for you? Did y'all come in with a different attitude this year than you did last year?
I think last year we had 3 older seniors, and they definitely filled their leadership role in the team, and the rest of us could just kind of play and not really have to worry about necessarily being the older ones and being an example. We just go out there and just play. But this year, since he had to take on that leadership role, it was different for us, just having to be the one that everybody else had to look up to.
Well, I was lucky enough to coach soccer for 10 years here at Houston, and we won state championships, we won nationals. I always think about what were those moments in the year. We always had to get lucky. And you can have the talent, best talent, you can have the best coaches, but there are those moments that you get a break or something goes your way. Were there moments that you look back on this year and think, okay, we were struggling and all of a sudden we had to fight through it? If you had to identify some of those moments, what would they be?
Yeah, I think when we played Memphis Central in the region semis at Whitehaven, that was probably, we picked a really bad time to play a bad game. And then, if it weren't for Jayla, I don't know that we pulled that one out. I think she had 35 points and 18 rebounds and just kind of carried us. And then Madison Griggs hit a big 3 to tie it, and Elisa Carter took a charge to help us get in position to win the game. But we really didn't play well and found a way to kind of get it done at the end. I would say we were lucky that night. And you have to get lucky to make a run like that. At some point, you win a game that you probably shouldn't have won and don't play your best and still get away with it. So that's kind of what happened for us that night.
What about you, Jayla? Were there some games that you think, or moments that you look back on and think, that was one that really, where we gelled together and we united as a team?
Definitely, besides the Central game, I think the Bradley Central game at State was definitely one of them, because we played them earlier in the year, and we had lost, but it wasn't a close loss at all.
They really gave it to you.
Yeah, and when we came back in State, we all knew, okay, we got to play together and we got to gel, and we knew we weren't the same team we were back in December when we played them the first time. We knew that we had to make sure we played together as a team in order to get the win.
Now, you've received some individual accolades through this process too. Are there any awards that you've won recently that you're proud of?
Definitely just probably all-state team, just knowing that I made that team. It probably wouldn't have been, I definitely wouldn't have made it if we wouldn't have made it up to Murfreesboro in the end. And without my teammates, most of the accolades probably wouldn't have been possible.
Well, it's a team sport, so you succeed when they succeed.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about adjustments. During the year, you can't just run the same defense. Y'all have to go with the flow. Whoever you're playing, whatever their strengths are, you have to take those away. What type of adjustments did y'all have to make during the year, depending on those big games that you were playing?
I think that one of the things that we had to figure out was defensively how much pressure could we apply. You know, how athletic were we to be able to, you know, could we extend full court? Did we have to play more right at half court? Did we have to extend back to the three-point line? And so we kind of figured that out as the season went on, really how far could we extend our pressure. And then offensive, we had to figure out what are some things that we can do to make it a little bit easier for us to get into scoring positions. We had 3 really, really good guards, and so we needed to find ways to kind of accentuate their abilities and get the most out of them. And so it was kind of a figuring out process all year long to figure out what would win in February and March.
So what about you, Jayla? When you think about adjustments that you're going to take away and going into next year, what are those things that you think about your own personal game that you want to work on or really strive to be better at?
Probably just knowing like when to take good shots and what shots are good shots at certain times. I think that was just something that like we had struggled with towards the beginning of the year, but I think towards the end of the year we all started to just kind of focus more on just taking good shots at the right time.
Because that's a problem. Sometimes you can be too much of a good teammate where you should take the shot and instead y'all keep working it around. So recognizing that, I think, is an issue. So let's talk about next year. What are you looking forward to coming in, Coach? Are we going to have another great season? Or are you?
Well, we hope so. I mean, I'm excited. I think it's one of those things where we bring almost everybody back. We had one senior graduate, Kelsey Trice, and so we've got, you know, really the large portion of the group is back. And we hope to bring in some, you know, good freshmen that can help us down the road. But, you know, it's one of those things I tell them, and I'll tell them when we get together in a few weeks. Every season is different. You know, what we did last year does not give us a leg up this coming year. You kind of start
Everybody
back
starts out with the same
exactly.
record.
You start back at the base and try to work your way up, and so we'll try to do that again.
So, Jayla, you've got plans to play after Houston. What are some of those plans?
I'll be attending Mississippi State once I graduate from Houston High School, and I'm super excited to play for Coach Schaefer, and they have a really good staff and a really good program, and I'm really looking forward to it.
We look forward to seeing what you're going to do at Mississippi State. Let's talk about Houston. So if you're talking to younger players or girls that are thinking about coming to Houston or playing basketball, what would you say is, why come to Houston, why play basketball? Why do you do it?
I mean, the past 3 years that I've been here, we've had more than just good teams. We've had a good program. Like we've had good players coming in, great players that leave and go on to play after high school, and it's like a family here. We all fight and have our differences all the time, but we're
together
like
you come together like a family.
Yeah.
What about you, Coach? So if you're talking to younger players, what makes us special?
Well, I think Houston High School has so much to offer outside of athletics. I mean, you know, whenever there's an opportunity to come to a school where you can be enriched academically and socially, I think that's a huge advantage. I think also that, you know, kids that come to Houston know that they're in classes every day with other students who want to go to college, that's the expectation. And so, you know, being well-rounded, individuals is what I think our athletes get a great opportunity to do here.
Well, thank y'all for an incredible year, and we look forward to seeing what's going to happen next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Forging a team out of such individually talented players exemplifies our athletic tradition of excellence. Before we take a short break, we'll be listening to a piece played by Houston High School's own Diego Martinez. He recently was chosen as one of 55 high school students in the country to perform in the prestigious Honor Orchestra of America. And now, live in the studio, he will play an excerpt from Bottesini's Concerto No. 2 for the double bass.
watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back. I am Superintendent Jason Manuel. We live in a community of kindness, and we are proud to highlight a partnership between a civic organization and our schools. We welcome Michael Shelton from Leadership Germantown, class of 2018, and Houston High School's teacher Gretchen Rose to the show. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I got a connection to both of you. First, I was also in Leadership Germantown, and we were the best class ever. I know everybody likes to think that they have the best class, but it's always special because y'all choose a community service project. And then also, Ms. Rose, I was lucky enough to teach in the greenhouse for my first 2 years here at Houston High School, so it's one of those times that I really miss the interaction with the students and being able to work with them. So we've got some exciting things coming for the greenhouse. So we'll start with Mr. Shelton. Tell us a little bit about Leadership Germantown. How did you get drawn into their program?
Well, I'm a landscape architect, and the company that I work with, A2H, has worked in Germantown with the school district in the past, and one of my coworkers went through the Leadership Germantown class, and then I was just interested in it. So living in Germantown, really trying to get more engaged in the parks and recreation side of things, and then just the Leadership Germantown opportunity came up, and my office was supportive of it, so I was happy to try to get engaged, to get more into the community. And
so every year, culminating event for your class, y'all choose a community service project that you do through Leadership Germantown, and it includes fundraising, but it's also how can you give back to the community. And I think what's special is this year y'all have chosen Houston High School and Mrs. Rose's facility. Tell us, how did y'all choose the greenhouse?
Well, there were several ideas that came out. So as a class, as you know, being in the class, you come up with something that's going to be interesting and engage the community and benefit the community. And there were lots of great ideas kind of tossed around. And this idea really generated with Linda Fisher, who is a member of the school board. And she pitched the idea, and we had a lot of discussion and debate about some other projects, and this one just really seemed to make sense.
It resonated.
Yeah, yeah, and everybody, once it was brought up and discussed, everybody just kind of latched onto it, thought it was a great idea.
So, Ms. Rose, tell us a little bit about what you do here at Houston, because I think people are confused when we say, oh, he taught the greenhouse. It wasn't. Tell us about the courses you teach here at Houston.
Yeah, so it's horticulture science, and it involves ag science, greenhouse management, and landscape turf. And we have just under 100 students who come through the program, and they will all be using the greenhouse to grow whatever we're studying.
So what are the plans? So I know it's fallen on disrepair in the past few years, and it needs a facelift, and I think that's what the group is doing for us. What are y'all's plans going forward in the future? So we'll start with you, Ms. Rose. How do you want to use it? What makes you excited about this project?
I'm very excited. Mr. Terry at the farm park is going to help work the greenhouse, and we're going to have different irrigation systems, and we'll compare growth of different crops.
So what is involved in this facelift? What's required of y'all? What are y'all having to do, Mr. Shelton? Because I know y'all came in and thought, oh, we do have some work.
Yeah, we did, and I, being the landscape architect, I was the lucky guy that everybody just goes to Michael. It's like, he must know about the greenhouse. He's a landscape architect, which was great because I do find it interesting. And so we came to assess the greenhouse and knew that it hadn't been used fully for a while, and that there were some issues with it. I know that the school district put in a little bit of money to do some repair, and then also Linda Fisher, who I mentioned, and Kate Crowder with the school district were able to obtain some grant funding through the Germantown Education Foundation, $7,000. So we came in to look and about some glass repair, some irrigation repair, the cooling system.
Right, they had to do the HVAC again and get that up to speed.
And then there's a soil room next to the greenhouse that needs some work. And so we came out as a class, almost our entire class came out to look at the site, or to look at the greenhouse and the conditions and try to figure some things out. And we've all just sort of divvied up opportunities and things to do, and then coordinating with Gretchen as well for what the need would be. And I would point out too that Germantown Parks and Recreation was really on board with this, and Gretchen mentioned Jeff over at the farm park, and they're super excited to get involved as
So
well.
it's another partnership of how they can use the greenhouse too to help fund the farm park.
Yes.
So tell us about when this is, what's your timeline? When is this going to happen? So is there a big reveal or a date we need to be aware of?
There is a work day this Saturday, May 5th, where we are going to come together as a class and other people that may be interested in volunteering to do the bulk of the work, to get in there and get it cleaned up and get things straightened up and do some painting and do some different things. And then at the end of the month, there's going to be a big reveal, and I'm sure there'll be a press release and things.
To show
when that's
everybody
gonna happen.
the work that y'all have done.
Yeah.
Now there's also an opportunity for our special needs kids to also come in there and help too.
Absolutely.
How do you think they could help in this setting?
On May 22nd, they will be helping in the greenhouse to help complete some of the projects that we're all working on. But they will be definitely hands-on and really participating.
So I look at the partnerships that are formed through this, and this is what's special about Leadership Germantown, is that now we've connected the farm park, we've connected the schools to leaders in Germantown, to your horticulture program, to our special needs. It all connects to each other, and I think that's something exciting for the district and community. Because when we look at our gym spaces, our common spaces, once again, it's those relationships that everybody gets to use. So what are you looking forward to the most personally? So we talked about the classes and things that you want to do. Is there something that you're itching to do in your greenhouse that y'all want to do with this new facility?
I'm ready to get like the old plant cells back to the community and just really have it working as it used to.
So y'all are going to be growing 24/7, because I
Yes.
think that's the benefit.
That's the goal.
And I enjoy the fact that you can have different studies going on, like you mentioned about the water irrigation systems.
Yes.
There are different systems in the greenhouse right now?
Yes, there's an overhead irrigation system and there's a misting system. And Mr. Terry and I are going to work together to put in a drip system, which doesn't cost anything. We actually
Right.
already have the material for, so we're really excited about that.
And so then you can let your students look and see
Oh yes, if it affects growth rate.
which one is better. Well, Mr. Shelton, I can't thank you enough, because we have a good partnership with A2H in all of our schools and the construction. And I know you've helped with design of those facilities, and now to take it one step further and really help Miss Rose and our horticulture program, we are thankful for your partnership with our schools and Leadership Germantown, because you really are growing leaders every day for the city of Germantown.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
We are excited to see the greenhouse after the big reveal. And after the break, a member from another important community group, the Germantown Charity Horse Show, will stop by to share some exciting news with our families about this year's show. Our teacher, Bobby Spillman, will join us as well to share some of the exciting things his department is doing with funds donated by the Germantown Charity Horse Show.
So we were walking to school.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really want
smart.
cheese pizza. We have
Sometimes
this
her
video
mind
game.
wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
You are watching Germantown Municipal Television, your source for everything Germantown.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Excellence. Joining me now is art teacher Bobby Spillman and past president of the Germantown Charity Horse Show, Virginia Walker. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So first, let's talk a little bit about the Germantown Charity Horse Show. So how did you get involved with this community program?
my daddy was on my grandmother's lap at the very first Germantown Charity Horse Show that was at the Germantown High School football field back in 1948. It's always been a community event fueled by volunteers. We're a 100% volunteer organization. So starting at birth, handing out trophies to running drinks to officials, then becoming a princess in the royal court, and then serving on the board. So it's in our family, in our blood.
So now you're past president. Does that mean you're going to step away and not assist with the horse show anymore?
Never, never. No, it's a family tradition.
So you're going to continue?
Yes.
Well, we're thankful because y'all have partnerships with the community, and in the past, y'all have actually given funding to Houston High School. So we'd like to share and talk with Mr. Spillman about some of those past funds that your organization actually gave us. So Mr. Spillman, tell us a little bit about what y'all have done with the funds provided by the Charity Horse Show.
We did quite a bit of different things with it. One of the main things, we've wanted to start a mural program. And we're starting inside the school, and eventually we hope to be outside the school doing public projects. And when we started to do this, the money we got from them was extraordinary. It was a nice sum of money. And so scaffolding, cans of paint, supplies, perishable supplies, nice storage closet fully set up, and we've started executing murals. And
so y'all are going to be able to use funds that they provided to help you long in the future, not just in the current.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good basic setup to get us started, and all the equipment we need. So now everything is pretty much paint per project, which is a really nice thing to have. The equipment in art gets really expensive.
So now I walked through the high school and coming into the TV studio, the scaffolding that's set up where they're actually painting their murals and their faces on the wall now for the AP art classes, is that the same scaffolding that y'all are using?
We have about 6 units of it, and there's actually a few there. There's some in the other side of the school because there's about 5 other murals going on in the science area. And so it's been kind of nice. We can wheel it around, through the school and keep it set up. And obviously right now the main thing in the public eye is the AP murals that they do every year.
So tell us a little bit about fine arts. I don't know if you were serving on the board when y'all actually gave us those funds, but what is the connection between fine arts and the Germantown Charity Horse Show?
Well, with the funds that we give to to the schools, we definitely want to support the community. And with the fine arts and like with our painted horse project, we want to keep it to culture the talents that we have in our community.
So you're leveraging your program to really help other programs in the city.
Definitely. I mean, we've been around for 70 years. We've had several different charities of choice, but we've always supported Germantown schools just to keep the next generation coming and wanting to volunteer.
So tell us a little bit about what you would see if you go to the horse show. So first of all, when is it?
June 5 through 9, and it starts in the morning, but our evening classes start around 5 at night and go on to about 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And we have a big variety. The Germantown Charity Horse Show is one of the, it's kind of a dinosaur. We have multi-breeds. Most horse shows you go and you see one thing, but we have pageantry, we have scurry races. There's a big variety. You don't have to know one end of the horse from the other to go to the show.
You're going to enjoy it regardless.
It is a picnic. It's $5 at the door. There's free parking. The commissary's there, or you can bring your own if you want. And you're going to see horses in all different breeds and varieties. And it's really a treat because most people don't get to see all of those at one venue.
Now, this year's special, though, isn't it? This is not the regular year for the horse show.
No, it's our 70th anniversary.
Are y'all doing something special for your 70th anniversary?
We are going to have the Wells Fargo Stagecoach come and do an exhibition every night.
Oh, wow.
It's very exciting. And I don't know if you were there when we had the Budweiser Clydesdales.
Yes.
Very similar. But this is going to be a great start to our 70th anniversary.
So they'll have a full team pulling. Well, tell me a little bit about how the different groups get involved. So if somebody has an interest to really help with your organization.
We have volunteer opportunities from birth you know, and on. We need people to help take tickets up. We have our monthly meeting where we have different committees, and all are welcome. It's the third Thursday of every month at the Pickering Center. And we also have hospitality teams, and we have other, you know, many jobs that need to be filled. It's 100% volunteer organization.
So y'all can always use the help.
Always.
Now, there's also something special about rocks or horseshoes I heard for this.
As in the past, when Memphis has done the 901 rocks, talking about art, we are doing the horseshoes. We're going to be hiding around Germantown. We'll do for the 70th anniversary. And some people will bring them in. There'll be a couple of special ones that will bring in a grand prize.
So now, are there going to be clues, or if I want to find one of
It'll
these
be
rocks?
the horseshoe. Look for a horseshoe.
Yes.
And yes, we will have clues on social media, Facebook, and
About where to
Instagram.
find the horseshoes around town. And are they different, each of the horseshoes, so they have different colors?
They're all different painted.
Oh, wow. So, Mr. Spillman, tell us a little bit about going forward. If we talk about the art program and things that y'all could use or need, you talked about murals. Are there other things for your program that you could see y'all growing?
I think every year's something new, and you know, since now that we're a fine arts academy, that was one of the big things, becoming an honors-based class, getting out in the 8th grades, looking at portfolios, and using that as a tool to get the kids in the art program. It's been excellent. You know, this next year, the graduating class will be the first group of kids that were portfolioed into the art program, so that should be interesting. Besides that, we're just trying to get into the public next with the murals and see if we can get some local businesses maybe to donate some space.
And so they can actually see the work that our students are doing.
Oh yeah, we want them out in the public, yeah. The kids especially, not just the art, so.
Well, tell us a little bit about Germantown employees. Is there actually a discount or something that can attract us to the horse show?
Definitely. Well, for the students of the Germantown schools, if you wear your gear, you'll get a discount at the gate. Our ticket master, mistress, I say, Robin Rodisol, will provide that to all the schools and the
So there'll be
students
information forthcoming about when to come in your attire.
Yes, go on to Facebook, follow our page. There's always fresh information every day. And then our website, gchs.org, has a list of all the ways to get discounts. And also in the water bill, we'll have, you bring that in, you can get a discount on tickets as well.
Well, thank you both for serving our community, and I look forward to this year's horse show because it's something special.
Yes, thank you.
Well, that's all we have time for on this month's Spotlight on Excellence. If you'd like more information about this or any other show on Germantown Municipal Television, visit us on our website at www.gmtvonline.org. Until next time, this has been Superintendent Jason Manuel for this month's installment of the Germantown Municipal School District's Spotlight on Excellence.